Right, Glenn Compton was killed on a motorcycle. It seemed like he was sitting on a stoplight and a tractor trailer ran over top of him.
Right there in front of where the Star Trek building is.
He was killed.
And
okay.
The tractor trailer hit him. His wife was behind him.
Okay.
All right. But that was before we moved into the house. And the Comptons lived here in the, 50s, 60s, somewhere around in there.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a son and daughter, Kathy and Glenn.
Mm-hmm.
And the top floor of the house has 2 bedrooms to it.
Mm-hmm.
And the bedroom I'm in is the one facing west. The one that Lee used was the one facing east. And it seems like that I think I had Kathy's old bedroom and Lee had Glenn's. So we hadn't been living here long. And because they had to move the house over from the bypass. And I was asleep. And you know how you feel sometimes somebody's staring at you? Mm-hmm. So I'm asleep. I feel like somebody's staring at me. And I open my eyes. And I think it's Lee standing beside the bed. And I said, what do you want? Because they kept saying Kathy. And I said, what do you want? And they said, Kathy. And I said, what do you want? And when I said that, they just disappeared. You know. And so
she gets up, goes over and wakes me up.
Yeah.
Saying, what did you want with me? And I said, I'm asleep. What are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was like, oh, I bet Glenn was looking for his sister, Kathy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it was.
So is that the only time you've ever seen?
Only time I ever seen anything. There are other times like
we saw Mom.
Yeah, we did see my mom.
So tell us about this.
Whenever we were in the kitchen, and this is before Daddy got killed.
Right before.
Yeah, it was right before, like maybe a week or a couple of days. We were in the kitchen, and from the kitchen you can look through the dining room and out the dining room window. And I just happened to look up and look down out the window.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw my mom standing right in front of that window. And it was like, you know, you see her and you look back and you go, and of course she was gone when I looked back,
mm-hmm.
you know. And I think Daddy was killed just a few days later,
mm-hmm.
you know, which is kind of interesting. But before my mom died, we smelled my grandfather's pipe tobacco everywhere. Her father,
mm-hmm.
everywhere we went in the house, you could smell his pipe tobacco.
That happened twice.
Yeah.
The first time it ever happened, I had come home from Winn-Dixie, where I was working late one night. And I would stay up for like 5 hours. And I was in the living room watching TV, and all of a sudden I was like, I could smell it. And I ran across the hallway to Mom's room, and I woke her up, and I said, come here, I want you to smell this. And she got up, and she came walking into the living room, and she says, why do you have pipe tobacco in here? And I said, I don't. I said, I wanted you to smell it. Doesn't it smell like Big Papa's? And she said, yes, it does. And a few days later, her sister Stella died from a heart attack.
Yeah, that was the first time. And then the other time was right before she died. And let's see, when I was at Tech, I had this ancient electric typewriter.
Mm-hmm.
And it was sitting on the desk in front of my window.
Mm-hmm.
And you had a clock radio, too.
Yeah, I had a clock radio. But you've got, the basement, which is the ground floor. Then you've got the next floor. Then you've got the next floor where the bedrooms are. And I had the window. Yeah, the window was up because it was spring. And Lee and Mom were down here on the patio, and they heard the typewriter upstairs.
And your radio player.
Yeah, just typing away, typing away.
And Mama looked at me and said, when did Kathy get home? And I said, she hasn't.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, but that's the radio playing up there in her room. And I said, yeah, the typewriter's going too. And we both went up there. They weren't plugged up.
Oh, wow. They weren't even plugged up.
Mm-mm.
Huh.
Because the wiring's so bad in this house, we don't leave anything plugged up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
So has your dad been back?
I think so. You know, you can't... It's like you feel him here.
Mm-hmm.
I've had dreams of him
Yeah.
coming back.
Yeah. And it's like,
it's always right before one of his friends or one of his brothers or sisters dies.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like sometimes you feel him like touching you on the shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
With his nub.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
'Cause,
where
you
he
know,
had
lost
his hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
in the farming accident.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the way he would always take it and rub right there between my shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's so
But see, like, he was friends with Frances Price, who lived up the road up here.
weird. Mm-hmm.
And right before she died, the night before she died, I dreamed of him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Usually right before anybody dies,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to dream about either mama or daddy or something like that, or you're going to feel them here or smell like the tobacco or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of strange.
Because Dad was talking about Jimmy Arrington's neighbor has a spirit in their house that plays drums on the counter. And then I was telling him that Jessica McVicker has something in, or Gwen McVicker, their house has something that when you walk in every once in a while it smells musty.
Mm-hmm.
And then it plays the piano.
Mm-hmm.
Jessica said she used to hear it play the piano all the time.
Hmm.
So,
Don't know. We haven't had anybody playing the piano.
hmm.
But you do, you know, you hear things and that sort of thing. And it's like, people ask me, aren't you afraid? No.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, it's your parents.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think it's anything abnormal. Because if you think about it, you know, energy can neither be created nor destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
So where does it go? And that's the dog.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, it was. It was.